Hey everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Uh, Gosh, super honored and excited actually to close out this four-part series of April showers, soul showers. So for those of you new to the group, my name is Darlene Garcia-Brown and I am your host every week for Widow to Widow Live. And we were doing a four-part series in April. This is the fourth episode, and it's all about the rainbows after the storm, right? So in our first episode, we talked about just how to feel, giving yourself the space to feel. The next one was what happens, right, when we fall apart, and that it's okay. It's okay to fall apart. It's actually necessary. Number 3 was all about riding the storm, right? And how do we ride that storm? And today is all about the rainbows after the storm. So thank you. Hey, Susie, thanks for coming and watching live. Can't wait to chat with you later on today. Hey, Marge, nice to see you on here. You guys, when I do this from my phone, I can actually see who's popping on. And when I do it from my computer, for whatever reason, I don't know, it doesn't come up. Sorry, I'm stirring my hot water with lemon right now. So it is 5:30 in the morning for me here in Bangkok. And so wherever you're at in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, I hope that you're having a safe day and hope you have some peace in your life today. So let's talk about the rainbow and what it means, right? The powerful symbols behind a rainbow, right? The first thing is that it never shows up before a storm. It always shows up after a storm, right? Never before. And the rainbows remind us that even in the darkest hours, even in the darkest skies, beauty will always follow devastation. Okay, remember that. Beauty will always follow devastation. When we look at it from a spiritual perspective, right? Rainbows symbolize hope, their connection between heaven and earth, and it's a promise that we're never alone, And so for those of us that are grieving, a rainbow just isn't in the sky, right? It could be a whisper. It could be a sign. It could be a flicker of peace that says that you're still loved. You're still here. You're still becoming. Let that sink in for just a moment. I want to share with you a rainbow story that I experienced, actually. My first one ever after Frank died. It was about 6 months after he died. I had already gone back to work, and my boss had tasked me to put together a training for this new, sorry, I had to just bring that up there, for this new, I forget what it was, but it was a new program. Sorry, it was a new program that we were launching, and HR was going to be the one that was going to administer and make sure that everyone in the company knew about this new program and how it worked and everything like that. And so I was tasked to train all of the HR professionals within the Asia Pacific region. And so we were in Hong Kong. At our Hong Kong office, there was about maybe 80 something HR managers and administrators and just everybody that's in the HR world in Asia Pacific. And training is my thing, right? When I was in my corporate space, training was my thing. But this was my first training after Frank died, and I was so scared. Like, I wasn't sure if I could do this. And Frank was the one person that was always there to just be my sounding board. He was my biggest cheerleader, my number one supporter. And so I needed him in that moment, right? And I kept trying to tell myself, Dar, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. But there was that pit in my stomach and my heart was racing and I just wasn't sure, right? And so the morning of the training, everybody had breakfast, we were all together in the hotel. And then it was almost time to go to the office. And I told everybody to just go ahead of me. Like, I wanted to just be by myself and just, I'll be there, right, in a few minutes. And they gave me that space. And so I sat in my room, I prayed, I cried, I spoke to Frank. I practiced my training, all of that. And then I finally got the courage to get out of my room and walk to the office. And on my way to the office, I felt this cool breeze. And in the moment of that cool breeze, I heard Frank's voice say, "Don't worry, babe. I got you. I'm going to be that fly on the wall. I'm going to be watching you. And I'm already so proud." And I knew in that moment that it was him. How did I know? Because Frank always said that to me. You know, whenever I was up to do something big at my work, or some big investigation, or you know, a speech, a big project, a training, whatever it was, he would always say to me, "Gosh, I wish I could just be a fly on the wall and watch you in action." You know, and so it actually filled my heart to know, wow, he actually does get to be that fly on the wall now, right? Because nobody's actually going to see him. And so it really filled my heart with so much peace and excitement. And so as I walked into the office and got myself ready to train, and everybody gathered into their seats, and right before I started, and I looked up, right at the back of the room, I can imagine Frank being back there. Like, I literally saw him standing back there the way he would normally stand, with that big smile on his face. And I began, and I killed it. And that was my first rainbow moment. And so I want to, you know, just kind of go into what all that means for all of you, right? Rainbows don't always come in color and fanfare. Sometimes it's that cool breeze. Sometimes it's a memory. Sometimes it's your heart, right? Your husband whispering in your heart, saying, "You're not alone, like I'm still here." Right? So I'm just curious, like, if you've had any rainbow moments in your life, drop it in the chat, right? We'd love to know and be inspired and celebrate with you, because these rainbow moments are moments of celebration, you guys. A lot of times they're few and far between, and that's okay, right? But they will come. If you haven't experienced it yet, hold on to the hope that they will come, right? And so let's talk about what those rainbow moments could look like, or how you can get them in your life, right? First one is knowing that grief and hope can coexist, right? You don't have to move on to move forward. Grief is a companion, and so is hope, right? Feeling joy in your heart again doesn't mean that you're dishonoring your husband and what you've lost. It actually honors what they gave you, what they were to you in this life. Rainbows are often subtle, right? Laughing without guilt, smiling when you see or think of a memory, waking up with a little bit more energy, feeling ready to make plans in your life, and just receiving a sign, a whisper, a cool breeze that reminds you that your husband is still right there with you. Having those rainbows, those rainbow moments in your life, also looks like letting go of the guilt around hope, knowing that it's okay to smile sometimes, that it's okay to feel desire in your heart, and that it's okay to dream again. Right? Hope doesn't erase your grief, ladies. It grows beside it. So I want you to just reflect on this for a moment, right? What's one rainbow experience that you've had? What's one rainbow moment experience that you've had since you've lost your husband? And how have you allowed yourself to receive it? Or did you push it away because you felt guilty? What do you think you're ready for now? Right? Even if you're still healing, you can still be ready for those rainbows and embrace them. Take a moment to write things down, right? What's one thing that you're grateful for in your storm? And what's one thing that you're hopeful for after the storm? When you write things down, the brain retains it so much better, and it absorbs longer. right? So write it down. Don't just have it in your head. Get it on paper, right? And then I'd love for you to share it in the group, right? So you can inspire others. And if you don't have those moments, or you can't even think about that right now, then come into the chat, because I'm going to encourage all the ladies that have had rainbow moments like the one I shared. It doesn't have to be big. It could be small. It could be just be for a moment. They're all moments to celebrate, right? So type them in the chat and let's pour some love into Widow Rising, especially for our new widows, the widows that are just coming in and are still finding their way through their own journey, right? Because again, rainbows always come after the storm, right? So if you feel like, I want to have those rainbow moments, Dar, I want to have them more often. I've had some, but they're few and far between, and I want to have them more often, right? Then I want to invite you to come and join me in my 5-day free program. It's a 5-day widow challenge from grief to growth, right? And I'd love to share with you how you can have those rainbow moments and not feel guilty for having them, right? Because you owe it to yourself to start living a life with empowerment, with a little bit of peace and joy, while also honoring your late husband. Living your life honors him. Staying in your pain does not. Let me say that again. Living your life honors him, and the love that you shared and the dreams that you talked about. Ladies, I get it. It's not the same. And it never will be the same. It never will be. You can still have something different in your life that could feel better for you. Have peace, have joy, smile. Have connections again. And all of that honors him. All of that becomes your rainbow moments, right? Because right now, in your widow journey, in your grief journey, that's your storm. You feel it, you ride it, you honor it. And then after the storm, or through the storm, after the storm, because there's rainbows that are always gonna come, right? And so you can have all those different rainbow moments in your life, because another storm's gonna come, and that just means that you're still healing through this grief journey, through this widow journey that you're on, right? And so I want you to look at those moments of joy, of laughter, of smiling, of feeling warmth in your heart as rainbow moments. And you can have them for just a moment. They can happen for a few hours, for a few days, and then eventually you're gonna have rainbow moments that last a lot longer and are gonna come more and more and more. Right? If you've ever been through my program, you know that I talk about how grief is normal and natural. Grief is your storm. And because it's normal and natural, we're going to ride through it, right? The storm will come and go because grief is normal and natural. It's going to happen when we miss him, when we have those moments of, you know, I wish he was here, significant days, birthdays, anniversaries. Maybe one of your kids are getting married, right? Hey, Joanne. Hey, Kim. Nice to have you guys join us. Yeah, so, you know, just think about those rainbow moments, ladies. Share them in the chat so that we can all celebrate with you and inspire everybody else on what to look out for, right? Because you might still be in such a deep storm that you are not sure what a rainbow moment looks like, right? Or did you even feel it? And everybody else's rainbow moments can give you ideas of what yours could look like. Right, type it in the chat. Joanne, I'd love for you to type some of yours. I know you had some of them. Right, type some of those rainbow moments in the chat for the ladies so that they can feel it. Right, and so that they can look forward to that, so that they can be inspired by what is coming for them. Right, so this 4-part series, ladies, was for you so that you can see kind of what we go through in our widow journey. Right, we need to feel it. Right? And sometimes those storms are going to be so yucky, and we're going to be going through this roller coaster of emotions, right? The moods that come through it, right? And sometimes it's just going to keep pouring in, and it's just like, what do I do, right? You just got to be in that storm. Grief is meant to be felt, right? But I promise you, I am almost 10 years in. July will be 10 years, and those rainbow moments didn't come right away. And they also didn't come very often, not in the beginning, right? Not in the beginning. But eventually, they came more and more. They lasted a lot longer. And that can be you too, right? You don't have to stay in the storm the rest of your life. I know sometimes it feels like that's gonna be my destiny. I can't see a way out of the darkness, of the clouds, of the thunder, of the lightning. I can't, Dar. And I hear you, and I get it, because I thought that too. I literally believed that I would be sad and lonely for the rest of my life. I believed that, and I owned it. I made it be my identity in the beginning of my journey. And I'm super grateful for having an amazing family. My grandkids, most especially, they taught me how to look for the rainbows, right? So who is in your inner circle? Who are you living for today, right? Your kids, your grandkids. Hopefully you also start realizing that you need to live for yourself too, right? We all have a purpose on this earth. What is your purpose? You're here for a reason, right? But it's hard to see what that reason is if you're still in the middle of a great big storm, right? So start looking for those rainbows. They will come, ladies, I promise. All right, well, I hope that this helped you in some small or big way, whatever it is. I just want to say thank you for joining me over this 4-part series. This doesn't end Widow to Widow Live. It just ends this series. Next week, I think I might have a guest. We'll see. I'm trying to work out some dates, but I think I might have a guest that is going to come on to our Widow to Widow Live to be talking about something that is very important in our life now, especially that we are no longer have a husband or a partner with us. And so if I can get her to come on around this time, then you'll see that. Otherwise, definitely have something to talk about. I'd love to know what it is that you'd like for me to talk about. What are some questions that you'd like for me to answer for you? I'm always, looking for how I could bring you guys value. And so the topics that you want me to talk about are the topics that I want to talk about, right? And I could talk about grief all day. I could talk about what it means to heal all day. I could talk about Frank and the memories all day, right? But I want to bring to Widow what is valuable to you, what is meaningful to you, right? Some of the topics I'll probably repeat, right? It'll probably be rinse and repeat. Why? Because, gosh, I kind of broke this down into a series, and so I kind of lost track of where we were, but I think we were on episode, we were on episode 40 yet, maybe. But I know we definitely did over 30-something episodes, and that's once a week. So I am so honored to be able to come on here. I look forward to coming on here every Friday for those of you in North America, and Saturdays for those of us on the Asia Pacific, Australia side of the world. So I'm going to go ahead and end this session today. Thank you all for joining me in this 4-part series, April Showers, Soul Showers. And we'll continue with our regular Widow to Widow lives starting next week. And again, I'd love to know exactly what it is that you guys would like for me to talk about, or what questions you like answered. And I will put them into these Widow to Widow lives. Just DM me or put it in the chat, put it in the comments. I'd love to know. If you are watching the replay, #replay so we can show you some love. Thank you, all of you ladies, for joining. Hi, Kathy. Sorry, I forgot to give you a shout out. But thank you all that joined us live. I appreciate all of you. Love you all so much. Have a great blessed and peaceful weekend wherever you're at in the world. All right, ladies, take care. Bye-bye.